Welcome to the Digital Mr. E, uncovering the secrets of online safety with Mr. E. What on earth are you watching? That's the title of today's podcast. And well, if I had £1 for every time I said that to my daughter, I'd be a very, very rich man. So today's podcast, we're going to be looking at what are they watching. Is it okay for them to watch it? It's a downtime. We're going to look at the time they spend. Is it quality time? I'm not going to go too in depth. I'm going to save that for another day. But this is just kind of a quick kind of dipping your toe into this. This whole area is absolutely huge. And I've got some different quotes and stuff for the podcast today. Well, talking of quotes, children between age 17 and 13. Well, 95% of teens and tweens have watched YouTube. And that's not even including YouTube Shorts. 67% of teenagers watch YouTube and can easily spend about 2 hours a day on that. And same with Roblox, which is very popular with 7 and 9-year-olds. So there is a lot of content consumption. Now, if you think back to your childhood, how would you relax? Well, a lot of the time you might be coming back in from school, drop your bag off, grab a quick snack, put the TV on and sit yourselves down, watch some cartoons or watch whatever's on BBC and the like. Well, that's what our kids are doing today, but just in a slightly different way. They are still using their media, watching the likes of YouTube as a way of relaxing, a way of calming down. And I actually think it's okay. It's okay, like we did when we were younger, to come in and just have half an hour of kind of escapism watching something on TV. Now, where it differs is when we'd watch something when we were younger, it'd be about 20 minute, 30 minute in length. Now you've got the likes of YouTube Shorts where you're kind of getting 30 to a minute duration of each thing, and they scroll through. That doom scrolling, as it's called, not quite the right term, but I'll come back to that at another time. So you've got this constant scrolling, and let's be honest, as adults, we do it too. Kids don't use Facebook, but we do. A number of times I've lost 20 minutes, and hands up to this, of going over to their video section, which is basically YouTube Shorts, and scrolling and watching stuff. It is so easy to lose that time, and it can be quite relaxing as well. So letting them have time watching things like this is absolutely fine. And that also includes gaming as well. Gaming is a way of unwinding. So spending some time watching or gaming is absolutely fine. How then, as parents, can we link with our child, get a little bit more on board with what they are watching? So I've already said it's okay for them to have this downtime. This is a hard thing to do. Sit down with them and watch a little bit. It is painful. I have done it. I don't do it all the time, I have to admit, because it is painful. But it's nice to sit down. Your child would appreciate kind of watching a kind of little mini episode of something together. Go on to the likes of Netflix and YouTube and watch something together. If they are watching something on their tablet, go and sit down. Show me what you're watching. I'm interested. Ask some questions. You know, what's the video about? Who is this person? Did you learn anything from that video? Would you recommend it? Those kind of questions, trying to kind of eke out some information from children. So your child thinks, oh, actually, yeah, mum and dad are interested in what I am looking at. Trust me, you don't have to be that interested, but just give it a go. You might find something you do enjoy. I often find kind of sticking on something from my childhood on a big screen and watching it together is quite a nice one. So kind of an old TV series or something like that is a quite nice thing to do, because you know what's happening and then you can get a bond. My daughter in COVID, in the lockdowns, got into Star Wars, so we watched all the Star Wars films together, and it was a lovely moment for me. One, I got to watch all the Star Wars again, but it gave us that kind of link over similar material. now she's older, she's watching the likes of Friends, which, you know, is nice to have those conversations about, and then we can quote Friends and stuff like that, which kind of strengthens our bond there as well. Dr. Caitlin Reguera is one of my favourite authors at the moment. She wrote an absolutely brilliant book called Smartphone Nation. I would really recommend reading that book. It was the inspiration for these podcasts. So one of her main things she talks about is a kind of hierarchical approach to different learning types of digital engagement. And imagine the food pyramid, but kind of flipped over. That's what it looks like in her book. So she's got 5 types of engagement. So we've got our passive one, which you've just been talking about, coming home, relaxing, watching some video content, you're scrolling through, you're almost switching off, you're just consuming the content. That's okay, that's a passive. Then you've got the participation. This is the online gaming, which again, as I said earlier, is a really nice way of relaxing. The next one up is communication. Now, this is a really interesting one because a lot of the time we're like, oh, why are you on your phone? Why are you texting your friends, etc., etc. Again, go back to your childhood. When you get home, you're just seeing your friend about half an hour ago, and yet you get home and then you give them a ring to see how they are. We did it when we were youngsters. Our children are doing it now, but they're just using a different type of technology. They're using their devices, whether it's a text message or, heavens above, a child ever phoning each other, but they're still communicating. We did it when we were younger, but we only had one phone in the house. Now the children have their own device. This again is something I'll come back to. So far we've got the smaller bit. So that passive should be spending the least amount of time, participation a little bit more, communication a little bit more. You're seeing then we're starting to get a more active engagement. The next one is creativity, which is creating kind of art and music, etc. on there as well. And then the last one, obviously the most important, is educational and learning. So encouraging the use of research, homework, etc. So if your child's coming home and doing some research at home or doing a bit of doodle as well, educational learning, that's a bigger bit, tick there for you. So this pyramid is really useful. I would argue that still it is okay to have that lower end as well, that passive and participation, because it is a way of children unwinding. But we do, as I've stressed throughout this, need to make sure there are limits. And you can talk to your child about this. Say, right, I understand you need some time to rewind. What I'm going to suggest is we have a half an hour kind of block on this. Now, to achieve these different things, I would really recommend having the likes of Google Families, Apple Families, all of those. That allows you then to track how long they spend on something. So my daughter's got an Android phone. On Google Families, I can see how long she spends on YouTube, how long she spends on other apps, and it's really useful. You can see how long they're spending, especially maybe they've come home, you're still at work, you can view from afar how long they are on their phone for. Have that agreement with you, but also be warned it might come back to you and you might have to have some rules about your phone use as well. Again, I'll talk about that at another time. At this point, I'm going to start wrapping up. There are so many areas we still need to visit. I was hoping to kind of go back to talk about the dangers of kind of all this, the scrolling and what they could be exposed to. However, I will do that in the next podcast because it's such a big thing. So a couple of takeaways from today. It's okay, in my view, for children to have downtime. Let them watch what they want on their devices within reason, obviously, and hopefully it's all age appropriate. We talked about that last time. Let them have that time. Try and share it if you can. Get them to show you some episodes or watch something you're familiar with them, so you have that shared experience. And make sure as well there are time restraints on it and explain why on that. Anyway, thank you for stopping by and thank you for listening.